Hello children, I hope you all are happy and safe today. Welcome to our special English hour. Here, every day, we will learn something new in a fun and exciting way. Are you all ready to have some fun? Let's go. We all know that words are very important for a language. So, it's time to learn some new words. I want all of you to listen to me very carefully. Our first word is frigate. 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 Our second word is tremendous. 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 Our third word, quivering. Quivering. Our fourth word is mingled. 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 Our fifth and the last word is dreadful. 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 Now, I will repeat these words for you one more time. But this time, as we all know, I want all of you to write these words down in your notebook and try to say them out loud with me. Are you all ready? Let's go. Our first word is frigate. Our second word is tremendous. Our third word is quivering. Our fourth word is mingled. And our fifth word is dreadful. Now, on your screen, you will see some pictures. I want all of you to look at these pictures very carefully and guess who they are. Lovely pictures, right? Do you know who they are? Yes, they were superheroes. Can you all tell me, what do superheroes do? Superheroes protect us from all the evil in the world. Now this brings me to another question. We all have superheroes in our lives. Police, soldiers, doctors, even our parents, right? But do these kind of superheroes who can fly, who have massive energy, who can grow in size, run really fast, really exist in the real world? No, right? They are all a part of an imaginary world that we create in stories and movies. This kind of world is called fictional world. Fictional is something that is not real. Now, in these movies, we see the superheroes use a lot of science and technology to fight evil. Although scientifically sound, these experiments and theories are not yet proven. Let me give you an example. If you looked at the pictures very carefully, you must have seen a huge superhero who is green in color. Yes, he is none other than the Hulk. Now, the Hulk is a result of an experiment. We all know that gamma rays are very harmful for our body. In this science experiment, the Hulk was injected with a lot of gamma rays. This resulted in his body growing 10x in size and him gaining a lot of strength. These kind of movies are called science fiction, where they use science and technology in a fictional world. Science fiction is also called sci-fi. Today, we will learn one such passage from a novel called 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. This is a sci-fi novel written by Jules Verne. Now, Jules Verne is called the father of science fiction because he started writing about all these things like submarines, rockets, space travel, etc., even when these things were not known. Let us dive into this wonderful chapter. Please open page number 43 of your English Bal Bharati textbook. If you have a textbook, point your finger on the words as I read them. And if you don't have a textbook, please don't worry. Listen to me very carefully. Also, while we read the textbook, I want all of you to look for the 5 new words that we learned earlier today. The name of our chapter is Chasing the Sea Monster. Our frigate wanted to go back, but the unearthly animal came at us with a speed double our own. We gasped. More stunned than afraid, we stood mute and motionless. The animal caught up with us, played with us. It made a full circle around the frigate and wrapped us in sheets of electricity that were like luminous dust. At any instant, it could have dashed against our ship. Meanwhile, I was surprised to see that our warship was fleeing, not fighting. I commented on this to Commander Farragut. His face, ordinarily so emotionless, showed great astonishment. Professor Aronnax, he answered me. I don't know what kind of fearsome creature I am up against, and I don't want my frigate running foolish risks in all this darkness. Besides, how should we attack this unknown creature? How should we defend ourselves against it? Let's wait for daylight and then we'll play a different role. Children, can you all tell me who is narrating this story? Yes, Professor Aronnax is narrating this story. He tells us that his frigate was just ready to head back home. But just then, they were attacked by an unearthly creature. A frigate is a small, speedy ship that is used in wars. He tells us how the creature looked very unearthly. Now, unearthly means that the creature looked like it did not belong to the earth. Now, normally, when there are enemies around, the warship and frigate for that matter is very alert and ready to fight. But this time, Professor Aronnax tells us how his frigate was not fighting. He goes up to his commander and asks him why were they not fighting. And the commander tells him that the enemy that they have right now, they have absolutely no idea what the enemy is capable of. The whole crew stayed on their feet all night long. No one even thought of sleeping. Unable to compete with the monster's speed, our frigate, the Abraham Lincoln, slowed down. For its part, the animal mimicked the frigate, simply rode with the waves, but did not leave the field of battle. However, near midnight it disappeared, or to use a more appropriate expression, it went out like a huge glowworm. Had it fled from us? We didn't know and were filled with fear and hope at the same time. But at 12:53, a deafening hiss could be heard, resembling the sound made by a water spout expelled with tremendous intensity. By then, Commander Farragut, Ned Land, and I were on the afterdeck, peering eagerly into the darkness. Tell me, Ned Land, isn't that the noise cetaceans make when they spurt water from their blowholes? The very noise, sir, but this one's way louder. So there can be no mistake. There's definitely a whale lurking in our waters. Near 2 o'clock in the morning, the core of the light reappeared, 5 miles away from Abraham Lincoln. The entire crew was up all night long. None of them even had the thought of sleeping. All of them were up on their feet. This means that all of them were very alert of the creature's movements. The creature, however, did not try to attack them anymore, but it mimicked the actions of the frigate and did not leave the battlefield. Now, can you all tell me what was the name of the frigate? Yes, the name of the frigate was Abraham Lincoln. Now, the entire night was, although slightly silent, but sometimes they would see sprouts of light and sometimes they would hear loud noises which were of such tremendous intensity. Tremendous means a lot of intensity. We stayed on alert until midnight, getting ready for action. Whaling gear was set up along the railings. Our chief officer loaded the blunderbusses, which can launch harpoons as far as a mile, and long duck guns with exploding bullets that can wound and kill even the most powerful animals. Ned Land was content to sharpen his harpoon, a dreadful weapon, in his hands. At 6 o'clock, day began to break, and with the dawn's early light, the animal's electric glow disappeared. At 7 o'clock, a very dense morning mist spread around us. Our best spyglasses were unable to pierce it. The outcome? Disappointment and anger. At 8 o'clock, the mist rolled away and the horizon grew wider and clearer. Suddenly, Ned Land's voice could be heard. "There's the thing in question, astern to port!" the harpooner shouted. Every eye looked toward the point indicated. There, a mile and a half from the frigate, a long blackish body emerged a meter above the waves. Quivering violently, its tail was creating a considerable current. Now it was finally daytime. The entire crew was ready with their weapons. They had bullets that were so powerful that it could kill the most dangerous creatures. Now, all they had to do was spot the animal and launch their weapon. But the creature that was glowing the entire night, at around 6 o'clock in the morning, when the daylight began to break, it started losing its glow. Soon after, around 7 o'clock, a slight mist or fog began gathering in the atmosphere, and because of this, the crew members could not spot the animal. Just after a little while, around 8 o'clock, when the fog began lifting up and it started becoming clearer, is when they finally spotted the creature again. They saw how its blackish body was emerging from the water. But it was quivering so much that its tail was creating currents in the water. Quivering means to shake very violently. Now let us find out what happens next. The crew were waiting impatiently for orders from their leader. The latter, after carefully observing the animal, ordered the engineer to sail full steam towards the animal. 3 cheers greeted this order. The hour of battle had sounded. A few moments later, the Abraham Lincoln headed straight for the animal. Unconcerned, the latter let us come nearer. It got up a little speed and kept its distance. This chase dragged on for about 3/4 of an hour without the frigate getting any closer to the sea animal. At this rate, it was obvious that we would never catch up with it. The Abraham Lincoln gathered speed, but so did the animal. This went on for the next hour. The Abraham Lincoln was now speeding so much that its masts trembled down to their blocks. What a chase! No, I can't describe the excitement that shook my very being. Ned Land stayed at his post, harpoon in hand. Several times the animal let us approach. Then, just as the harpooner was about to strike, the cetacean would steal off swiftly. The captain of the frigate finally gave the order to attack the creature with full speed. This order meant that the war had finally begun. Everyone on the ship was ready to battle. The creature, however, was very fast. No matter how faster Abraham Lincoln sailed, the creature was always ahead. The creature was also very smart. Sometimes it would reduce its speed so that Abraham Lincoln could come near it. But just when it was about to attack, it would sail ahead with full speed. This chase continued for a long time. Now let us find out what happens next. Commander Farragut then decided to use more direct methods. Bah! He said. So that animal is faster than the Abraham Lincoln. All right, mate. Man the gun in the bow. Our forecastle cannon was immediately loaded and leveled. The cannoneer fired a shot, but his shell passed some feet above the cetacean, which stayed half a mile off. Over to somebody with better aim, the commander shouted. And $500 to the man who can pierce that infernal beast. Calm of eye, cool of feature, an old grey-bearded gunner, I can see him to this day, approached the cannon, put it in position, and took aim for a good while. There was a mighty explosion, mingled with the cheers from the crew. The shell reached its target. It hit the animal, but bounced off its rounded surface and vanished into the sea 2 miles out. Oh, drat! Said the old gunner in his anger. That monster must be covered with 6-inch armor plate. Now that the captain realized that chasing after the creature was going nowhere, he decided to take another course of action. He called for his gunners to take a shot. First, they tried to shoot a cannon on it, but the cannon did not even reach anywhere close to it. Next, the captain asked someone with a better aim to come and take a shot. This is when a calm, grey-bearded, old man came with his gun loaded. He aimed and fired at the creature. His bullet was mingled with the cheers of the crew. Mingled means mixed with the cheers of the crew. Now, his bullet landed straight on the creature. But do you think it killed it? No. The bullet, as soon as it reached the creature, it bounced off its body. Why do you think this happened? Let us find out what happens next. The hunt was on again. Hour after hour went by without the animal showing the least sign of weariness. However, it must be said that we too struggled on tirelessly. At 10:50 in the evening, that electric light reappeared 3 miles away from the frigate, just as clear and intense as the night before. The monster seemed motionless. Was it asleep, perhaps? Weary from its workday, just riding with the waves? This was our chance, and Commander Farragut decided to take full advantage of it. He gave his orders. The frigate approached without making a sound, stopped 2 cable lengths from the animal. A profound silence reigned over the deck. We were not 100 feet from the blazing core of light, whose glow grew even stronger and dazzled the eyes. Just then, leaning over the forecastle railing, I saw Ned Land below me, brandishing his dreadful harpoon. Barely 20 feet separated him from the motionless animal. All at once, his arm shot forward and the harpoon was launched. I heard the weapon making a ringing sound as if it had hit some hard substance. The electric light suddenly went out, and 2 enormous water spouts crashed onto the deck of the frigate, racing like a torrent from one end of the ship to the other, toppling crewmen, breaking spare masts and yardmen from their lashings. A hideous collision occurred, and thrown over the rail with no time to catch hold of it, I was hurled into the sea. Now the chase was back on. No matter how many hours they chased each other, the creature did not look tired at all. But at around 10:50 in the night, the frigate saw that the creature was sitting motionless in the water. They thought that maybe the creature was finally asleep. The captain decided that this was the right time to attack, and he ordered the frigate to move very slowly and silently towards the creature. Now, as and when they were growing closer to the creature, the glow of the creature became bigger and bigger. Now they were only 100 feet apart from the creature. And now was the time to attack. The professor saw that the gunman was ready, and he pulled back and fired. Do you think this bullet would be able to kill the creature? The bullet hit the creature, and suddenly the lights went off. Huge sprouts of water came gushing from the creature, and it toppled over the ship. The ship, along with the entire crew, fell into the ocean. Can you tell me why this happened? After all, the bullet was supposed to kill the creature, right? If you noticed, in the entire passage, the writer Jules Verne has described how a frigate, that is a warship, saw a submarine as an animal and tried to chase and hunt it. Yes, you heard that right. In this science fiction story, we saw how a frigate saw a submarine as an animal and tried to hunt it. I hope you all like this story. I hope you all like this session. Today, we talked a lot about warships and unearthly creatures. Now, I want all of you to imagine yourselves as the captain of a frigate. Do you all remember what a frigate is? Yes, a warship. Now, once you imagine yourselves as the captain, I want all of you to draw a frigate in your notebooks. A frigate that is ready to battle. Make sure that you show this drawing to your family and friends. I will see you all in the next session. Until then, stay home, stay safe, and bye bye.